Hi, I'm Dion. Our vision for this site is OG Lawndale, one that will create a new norm, one that uplifts and inspires a new experience in our neighborhood, my neighborhood. Having lived in North Lawndale for over 20 years and today with my team having this opportunity to improve in an area that means so much to me is an opportunity that many of us here have been waiting for.
The beautiful thing I like about the team that I'm a part of is we actively are promoting equitable partners. And so when you think about that, that's the difference right there with so many other entities and firms and developments out there. There's a chance where even if it's a small portion, you can be a part of something and not just be a part of it, but actually have your name on it. You know, and that is part of legacy building. So I really appreciate that, and I think that's going to be a game changer.
And so the one thing we pride ourselves on is being able to step into projects that perhaps other people would walk away from and do the hard work. And so Dion explained it, and I'm like, we could do that. And so the only thing we needed to make sure is, could we have good design and time? And Juan stepped in, and he's like, I already got the design. So it was a pretty easy decision to say, yes, we want to join this team.
One of the things that I want people to understand is that in terms of a sense of place, Ogden Avenue is one of the most unique thoroughfares in our city. It's, first of all, it's just incredibly wide. And I think there's the opportunity to capture some of that within the site and say, let's give this back to the people. Let's not plant buildings there, that let's create this kind of plaza in front of the building that says, come here. No barriers. You're welcoming people. Not a defense mechanism, but it says clearly, come here. And I think the idea of activating the street with human beings and retail and just sheer activity, and let the community invent some programs. You know, sometimes it's up to us as the architects to provide that canvas and let the community create. And I think that's what we've done. So I think the opportunity is there for when you go by this piece of Ogden Avenue to have this kind of magnetic reaction that's going to pull you in.
This particular development, I believe, outside of the design, the functionality of it is very important. There's the office space, there's the retail space. And if you look at the location when we walked on the tour, it's a clear shot to downtown with the Sears Tower or Willis Tower in the background. That outside terrace and where there's the outside dining, and that bringing that to this neighborhood, I believe is really going to transform it. I believe that also brings attention to the neighborhood, and that ultimately generates dollars and, you know, community building.
Any project like this comes with a significant investment, and so we've worked diligently in all the projects we have to raise the money to make these happen. We have significant experience in that space. So the $38 million project is where we're currently pricing this out at now. We understand that construction costs continue to change, but we'll stay focused on $38 million. We're looking at about $2.5 million from the trust fund, another $1.6 million for right-of-way improvements, but we know that we want to work diligently and closely with the city to design the rest of the plaza improvements that come in off of Ogden, because we need that space where people will congregate, gather, and have fun. We also have about $2.4 million in there of private grants, so we can add, you know, arts and cultural amenities within the project to put on those finishing touches. And then there's a series of other smaller subsidies that amount to about $3.9 million total. Those include things like energy dollars and other things.
You know, often we get asked the question, like, how did we come together as a group? And, you know, these pursuits require a development partner. They're not just an architectural pursuit. And I reached out to Dion and I asked him the question, how do we pursue this? And you start talking to people, creating a strategy. But Dion always told me, you need to talk to Ron. You need to meet Ron. You're going to find out that you guys really get along. And I think, one, we have to give credit where credit is due. The choreographer of this team is Dion Lucas. There's no other way to look at it. He's the most humble man, quite possibly, that I have ever met. And will never say that on camera. But he is the reason we're all together, because he wants nothing but the best for his neighborhood. And I think this team, interestingly, looking back, was meant to come together for this project, because the feelings about the building, the approach to the design, approach to a capital stack, all of that come from everybody coming together, knowing that there's something more important here than just us. But it has to come back to Dion, because he's a visionary. Yeah.
So, as a member of our community, OG Lawndale is something that is very personal to me. It's a chance to discover what is possible together. Please choose us, a local voice, to lead the project at OG Lawndale.